Hello, it's Bailey and Merry Christmas! Right now for me it is Christmas Eve and we're just kind of having a chill family day at home. For some reason, somehow, we ended up not having anything we needed to be at today, so we're having a nice cozy family day at home. I'm finishing wrapping gifts and I'm finishing my kind of last minute prep for Squash That series. And so this video here is actually like a supplemental second announcement to my Squash That series announcement. So if you haven't seen the Squash That series tournament announcement, which I posted like late October, because this was a big round to prep for, I will ask that you watch that first. That is like the full announcement, and this is just kind of some information that since announcing I have realized should probably be out there in a more official form than just like posting in the Discord. So this is just supplemental. This is not going to make sense if you haven't seen the full announcement, I should say, because I'm not going to rehash everything here. So first and foremost, I just wanted to clarify a little about how qualifying will work, because that is kind of the first step we are going into here to start the readathon. Everything else will have more detailed instructions as we get to it, but qualifying is what you need to know how to do as we start here. And so the two main goals of qualifying are to read 500 pages and also have read for 6 total hours. Those two books can be the same thing. Like, they can happen side by side, but they don't need to. The books for qualifying do need to be sequels, meaning they cannot be standalones and they cannot be first books in a series. And then I did also have somebody ask about the 6 hours being audiobooks. It does not have to be audiobooks, it's just 6 hours. I want you to dedicate 6 hours to reading. It can be audiobooks, it can be your physical book, but I also wanted to clarify that getting to that 6 hours does not mean listening to 6 hours at like 2 times speed and finishing in 3 hours. You need to be spending 6 hours. And I also want to clarify that I think plenty of people are going to end up on the board that don't actually complete these two goals. I feel like people who are like, oh, there's no way I can read 500 pages in 2 days, just like think they're out of this. And I by no means think that is the scope of the readathon, I guess. We currently, so on December 24th, have 31 signups, and there's actually 32 places on this bracket. So I'm not expecting that we're gonna have like double the amount of people trying to qualify as like the board fits. So I think there's plenty of room for everybody on the board. Of course, hopefully we have more than that 32 and there are people who will start as cheerleaders, but don't feel like you need to complete both of these goals to even like have a fighting chance. I don't predict it happening that way. I did also mention in the original announcement that everybody does need to be playing in Central Standard Time, which does mean that the readathon will be starting at midnight Central Standard Time. But I also just wanted to make sure that everybody knows you do not need to start at midnight. If you know me at all, I will not be starting at midnight. I do not exist at midnight. So I think there's also plenty of room for those of us who do not desire to start that way to like wake up in the morning, start trying to qualify, and still, again, have a reasonable chance to be qualifying. Just the people that I personally know that will be participating and trying to qualify, I don't anticipate there being very many people who are doing like the midnight start situation. You are more than welcome to. I would love to wake up in the morning and see like somebody has already qualified, but again, that is not an expectation that I have going into this. And then I think just the like kind of final point I needed to make in this FAQ type video is the timing of things. There is the 2-day qualifying period, and then on the night of the second, Tuesday will be our first Tuesday night live show. Again, every single Tuesday night there will be a live show from 7 p.m. Central Time to 8 p.m. Central Time, in which I am spinning to get the game that we will play the following week. And I think where I maybe misspoke a little bit is that on Wednesdays the readathon will not be active, and that's not completely true, because you don't need to cease all reading on Wednesdays. It's just that the information for the next game, your submission forms, all of that kind of stuff may not be immediately available. So that is kind of our admin day. So that's our day to like, okay, give us some grace to prepare to like start another game. So on Wednesdays, you're welcome to keep reading. You're welcome to start the game for that week. The forms just may not be available, but that does count for like the upcoming week, not the previous week. So your weeks are running from Wednesday to Tuesday. Wednesday being the first day of every head-to-head competition and Tuesday being the final day of every head-to-head competition. And so what this means for week to week as you're reading books, and probably not on the dot finishing a book every Tuesday, is the question of how books will carry over. And my answer to this is that you submit the book when you finish it for full points. So you will never be submitting partial books. You just submit when you finish the book. The only issue with this is, say we're playing a game in a week and you're reading a book for the prompt of like, finish a series. And then the next week you get your prompt that you need to be working towards is like, second book in a series. The same book probably doesn't work for both of those prompts. So you may need to pause the book that you already started and start something different because your prompt may have changed. But again, you can save that on the back burner for the next time a prompt works for that book and just submit the whole book then. The only issue with this is that I don't want any books submitted that were started before the readathon. So this only counts if you started this book during qualifying or after, or aka January 1st or after. So you need to come into the readathon with a blank slate, but you do not need to come into each week with a blank slate. I hope that that makes sense. I hope that now that we are 1 week away from starting Squash That series, that you guys are all getting as excited as I am. I'm just like relieved that I am almost, I have some videos to edit, almost ready for the readathon to start. I've done all my prep. I am welcoming any and all further questions still in the comments down below or in the Discord. Everything you need for the readathon, again, will be linked down below. Firstly, the sign up as well as the Discord group to kind of be active throughout the readathon. I think we are close enough now for you to tell me what you plan on reading during qualifying, so let me know that down below, and I will see you again very soon for Squash That series. Bye!